Alright, so today we're going to be looking at pictures of creepypastas, specifically the ones that mainly have pictures, because there's a lot that don't. So these are more like the popular ones I remembered. I figured we'd look at their pictures and just kind of talk about them. Starting off, though, I don't know anything about this. I don't know the story or anything about this. I'm pretty sure it is a really bad Michael Jackson doll.
Oh, it's a doll. Okay. It looks like something wildly offensive someone would make of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I think there's a lot of pictures or wildly ugly or disturbing pictures that people will post and be like, oh, this looks like Michael Jackson.
Uh-huh.
I think I don't like that. I know something Michael Jackson struggled with a lot was his own personal image. And he was very upset about the way he looked his entire life. So, even though he's a celebrity and he's passed, it really upsets me when people make fun of his appearance so much. Because it's just it's something he's already insecure about. So
Yeah.
to make so much fun of it just comes off really gross to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely could see this being that, so I hate this image. It actually upsets me.
That's completely fair. I don't know the story or anything behind it. It's just a really popular one. So this is obviously from Ben Drowned.
Obviously?
Obviously. If you don't know that creepypasta,
I don't.
a kid drowned, I guess. His name was Ben.
Okay.
And there was this guy at a garage sale, and he was giving away games, for free, I guess, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And one of the games he gave away free was a N64 cartridge of Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
And that particular cartridge was haunted by a kid named Ben. And
This kid that drowned?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Ben just makes weird things happen to your Ocarina of Time cartridge.
Okay, and that's what... Is this Ben, then?
This is...
Because this is Link.
This is Link, yes. But this is the Link that shows up in Ben Drowns, but he's not the one you play as. You still play as regular Link in Ben Drown. I think this is just one you find, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know. But scary-wise, this is really tame.
It is. It doesn't particularly bother me. If I saw this on someone's shelf,
Yeah.
I would genuinely be like, oh, they like Link. I wouldn't... It wouldn't register to me that it's... Stop it. It wouldn't register to me that it's a creepypasta thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I'm only slightly familiar with the Ben Drowns, but I know it's it's probably the biggest gaming creepypasta.
Okay.
This is Happy Appy.
I have no idea what this is.
And I know he's supposed to be a old cartoon show for kids, right? That got canceled for being too creepy. Now, I don't think it was a real cartoon. I think that was just a made-up story. But
I gotta say, I don't like it.
the story or Happy Appy?
So, I'm looking at this picture.
Yeah.
And it looks like just a regular picture.
Mm-hmm.
And people, they typed in apple on Google, right?
Yeah.
And then they took the first image of an apple and just put it on here. And then they did that with hands and lips, right?
Okay.
And then just put a posterized filter over it.
So you're saying
Because it doesn't even look like a cartoon.
So you're saying it's lazy. It's lazy.
I don't want to offend the artist, but yes.
Okay.
This to me is just really bad art.
Okay.
Which I don't like to say because I don't... Saying art is bad does make me uncomfortable. I'm not sure how I feel about that. What I will say is I don't enjoy this, and I'd love to know if there was more thought put into this than what meets the eye. Because if it's supposed to be a cartoon, this isn't giving cartoon.
No.
It's giving when a middle schooler gets a camera for the first time and tries out all the filters.
That's fair. But in the defense of Happy Appy, a lot of times, children's shows will be super cheaply made without a lot of, like, love and care put into them, and that can make them come off as a little creepy. And I feel like you can see he's connected to a popsicle stick,
I see
right?
that, yeah.
So he's, like, definitely a puppet type thing. He's purposely looking bad because he's a children's show thing.
Yeah, but he's also, like, purposely looking bad. Like, his name is Happy Appy. You'd think he'd be somewhat happy. He's
That is
not.
true.
He has very large, oversized lips that are very low. And then also, I think the eyes they used are from cats. Like, those are not human eyes.
You might be
Those
right.
are definitely animal eyes.
Yeah, you are right.
And that's something but it's definitely something, like, purposeful. Think about that show where it's just hands with eyeballs on them.
Oh, Obi?
Obi, yeah. Doesn't he have googly eyes?
Yeah.
Why would they not use googly eyes?
Yeah,
You could use googly eyes just fine, and it's something very cheap, very accessible,
Uh-huh.
and fine for a kid's show that wouldn't make it creepy.
Yeah.
I think the way they did it definitely made it creepy, and there's no way they didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, oh, I made this and it accidentally looks creepy. Like, they went out of their way to use things they wouldn't normally use.
Okay, so next is Herobrine. And from what I understand, it is the Minecraft guy whose name I think is Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with white eyes, and he's apparently not controlled by any player and just shows up in Minecraft sometimes. I don't know what he does, but he shows up in Minecraft sometimes and no one controls him and he moves around and stuff. Now, this isn't true, obviously. This doesn't happen, but that's the creepypasta that he does that. So,
Okay.
In terms of scariness, this is just Steve with white eyes.
Okay, yeah, it's not scary. I don't think I would have even registered that it was a creepypasta.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a fake gamer. But I don't remember what color Steve's eyes even are. Okay, so it's white with... Is that blue in the corner?
I mean,
It is blue.
I can't really
It's
tell.
blue.
Yeah.
Blue, 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 blue.
So he's just Steve
So
without...
there's two pixels here that are the wrong color.
Yeah.
Because it is white on the... He has a white of his eye.
Uh-huh.
He just has 2 pixels that are not blue. So I would not notice. You joking? Like, I fully wouldn't notice. If this happened to me in the game and it was, like, a true thing,
Uh-huh.
I would think that there's, like, a monster they added that I didn't know, because I don't always keep up with the Minecraft updates.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't see Glow Squid for so long.
That actually reminds me of an old rumor I saw a long time ago. That I didn't even grab the thing. Halo 2, I think. There was rumors that there was, like, ghost players. Like, a player would just show up that wasn't in your players. He would just kill
Yeah.
everyone.
I think I heard that rumor.
And then disappear.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's all types of, like, weird rumors about, like, games that, like... I don't think that rumor was ever true. Like, even Webkins, there were rumors about, guys, watch out for this player. If you see this player called, like, Eating Candy 65, don't talk to him. He'll steal all your pets.
Okay, so this is Jane the Killer, who is the girlfriend, I guess, of Jeff the Killer.
She's fierce.
Yeah.
I think she's so fierce.
She just kind of looks like a girl, I guess.
Yeah.
There's nothing that particularly stands out as, like, scary.
That outfit's a little scary. It's
Yeah.
way out of date.
Well, it's probably
the cut of it particularly is very, like, 2014.
That's probably when the photo was taken.
Maybe a
around
little
that
bit
time.
earlier.
Yeah.
But don't love it. It looks like, to me, it looks like maybe it was, like, a Tumblr picture that someone was, like, wearing my favorite dress today. Like, they'd write that on top of it, but then someone took it and, like, just changed it up a bit and tried to make it creepy.
Yeah.
Right? But it's still giving just, like, Tumblr girly. So, it's not creepy. I think she's serving, and I support her.
I don't really know the story, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
She lined her lips really well. Snaps for her. Snaps for her. Okay. And then that's Jeff.
So this is, yeah. So, she
Yeah.
is dating him.
And this is a very realistic thing, because do you know how many gorgeous women date men that look like that? They'll be like perfect 10s, and then their boyfriend will literally look like that.
No, you're gonna love him. Oh my god, he's so hot. No,
You've
gotta meet him.
Yeah. Can I see a picture of him? Here's this picture. It's not a very good picture, right? He's like way cuter in person. This is the picture. And I'd be like, he has a nice smile.
He has a nice smile. So
okay.
there's a lot to talk about with this particular one. I think this is probably the most famous creepypasta photo.
Probably, yeah.
And we still don't know the origins of where this photo came from. There's so many different stories and where it came from. There was a guy who claimed he made it, and people believed him for a while until they found out, no, this photo predates him, and he was just a fucking liar. And then this was found in, like, an old Chinese, like, footage, I guess. And so, but we still don't know if it originated from there or not. And then there was, like, a picture of this girl who maybe it originated from, but we don't know for sure. Because there was ones, like, this has been edited multiple times. There was...
Sure.
We found ones that, like, were before this, and, but we still don't have the very original image. I want to say his eyes being two different sizes, and this looks like it was made with, like, a lot of different things, including probably, like, Microsoft Paint is what his eyes look like they were made with.
You think so? I don't think Microsoft Paint.
It gives me the thing that they did bloop black dot, and then just kind of circled with the white.
Yeah.
Especially since it's not completely even.
This is
or sized right. And then they obviously erased his nose.
Yes. This is no read to Ryuk at all. He's way hotter. But he looks like he could be Ryuk's, like, ugly cousin. Because I'm looking at the Death Note poster over here, and I'm like, he has his father's eyes.
His father's eyes.
But he has, like, the same mouth shape, and their eyes are similar.
Mm-hmm.
They could be somewhat relatives, but honestly, Ryuk's kind of hot. I will say this picture, I don't know the story of Jeff the Killer, actually.
It's really stupid from what I remember, and I don't remember all of it, but I do remember basically he's got some really shitty parents, right? And he's also got some really shitty friends, and then he's also just really shitty. Basically, everyone in the story, really shitty. They end up, like, bullying him, and they dump a bunch of bleach on him, which is why he has his white skin, I guess.
White.
But then he also, like, cuts off his eyelids, which is why his eyes are like that, but, like, they still
That's not what it would look like,
They still wouldn't look like that based on that. And then Jeff basically, from that point on, becomes, like, a Joker ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that, really.
Yeah.
This image is scary, I think.
For sure. It makes me really uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to look at it anymore at all. I know it's... Every time I see this image, it's not necessarily, like, scary. It's more, like, unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
And I get really fucked up dreams. And so I always know that when I see this image, it's going to end up in my dream. And it's just irritating more than, like, horrifying.
Okay.
But it definitely makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. I can definitely tell ways that it was edited. Like, it looks like they used the smear tool in Photoshop? It's like this finger, it looks like a finger pressing on something.
Okay, yeah,
and you just kind of press an area and pull it.
Yeah.
So that it looks like you smeared that thing. That's what it looks like they did with the mouth. And it looks like they
Yeah.
might have done that with part of the face to like stretch it to make it wider and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever made it did a really good job making like a creepy image.
Yeah.
So props to them.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to look at this anymore.
Well, I have one more thing to say before we leave it. It has the staples that so many of them have. And that is a giant smile and, like, basically nothing around here. The eyes are just open that way.
Emo eyes.
So many of the,
eyeliner.
like, the scary or creepypasta ones either go with this or they go with, like, the Sonic.exe type thing where it's black with the little red eyes.
Yeah.
So it's almost.
Well, he's an
always
early
those
one,
two.
right?
He's one
Like
of
a
the
very
first.
early one.
Yeah,
So he's the blueprint, Mama.
Yeah.
Mama, she's the blueprint.
And then this is what Jeff has become now.
Really?
Yes.
That's so interesting.
He's went
Is that...
to being like.
Do you know this is from now? Like, is this recent or is it like
I don't
someone
know.
from 2016 made
I don't
a
know
fan
exactly
fiction?
when this one came from, but I know that every Jeff the Killer thing I see that isn't like this looks something like this.
That's really interesting.
And
Because I know people do that with Slender Man too.
yeah.
They'll like make him like a cutie, like hot boy or something.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, like, I live. That's such a cute little hobby. You just take people's like stuff that's supposed to be like terrifying and you're like, let's make it a cutie.
I don't know. I hate it. It's really cringe to me.
Really?
It's really cringe to me. This is, you know, when they took the Joker and they made him kind of a fuckboy and
Yeah.
Injustice 2? That's what I feel like
Well,
just happened here.
To me, I guess I assume they're doing it in a joking way.
No, this is.
But
there's
now
so
that I'm
much,
thinking about it, they're probably not.
there's so much
Hi,
like
sweetheart. I'm talking to the dog, sorry.
so much like romantic fiction between him and a bunch of different women. You know, that's where Jane the Killer came from because they gave him a
Oh,
girlfriend.
sure, yeah.
But he's got like 3 girlfriends or something, as far as I remember. All right, so this is Momo, and
This is another one of those things that I'm like, I really wish I wouldn't look at weird things before bed. I will say about Momo, this is a creepy photo.
Uh-huh.
I've seen it a million times. It always makes me uncomfortable. I know it's like fake. Like, I know it's not like a real thing, you know?
yeah.
It's not something I want to look at all, to be so real with you.
No, it is creepy as fuck. Once again, it does the whole like eyes in this way, big smile, just like Jeff the Killer.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, there is no body. This is sort of like a statue in a museum. And
Oh, it's in a museum.
and there's a whole bunch. It's made by an artist, and the artist has a whole bunch of different projects in there, and that they took pictures of. You know, but this is definitely that artist's most famous piece.
I'm sure, yeah.
And it wasn't called Momo. It blew up. I don't know why it's called Momo, but it blew up, and there was like all sorts of like, if I remember correctly, like chain letters things like
Oh,
about
all
it.
the time.
Like you have to forward Momo or
Dude.
else something will happen.
I remember even on Pinterest, one
Yeah.
of, like, a friend of a friend friended me on Pinterest, which is so weird to begin with, but they, like, messaged me a chain letter with this attached to it, and they're like, you have to forward this, or, like, you're gonna get eaten by this, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you sending me this? Like, what are you doing? Even if that's the case, like, that's so uncomfortable to just push it on to another person.
Yeah.
The artist who made this must be very talented. There's so many details that I'm sure were really hard to make. Even, like, the wrinkles from the mouth being stretched, the eye bags.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
noticing all the shading and stuff like that. They even made sure their hair was, like, distressed. They did an incredible job at what they were doing, and what they were doing was supposed to be disturbing, I'm sure. I'd love to know what the meaning was behind this artwork, but I would love to not look at this anymore.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'm okay with moving on. Alright, so this is
Fierce.
Nina the Killer. I got nothing on her. I don't know anything about her. I assume she's with Jeff, or at least related to Jeff in some way. I really don't enjoy This, again, it feels really cringy to me.
I don't know anything about it either. I don't want to say whether it's cringy or not. I have no context here, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say, besides the shading being good, I think the shading's pretty good. Maybe it has to do with the story. I don't know the story. But this jacket, I hate it. It doesn't go with anything.
You know, she's wearing...
It's just like, I really do not like it. I wish we could change it maybe to a maroon, to a gray, some type of neutral, or like a red that goes with things.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I particularly don't like is right in the center of the photo. And in art we call it like the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
The focal point shouldn't really be in the center. It should be like off to the side a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But this focal point being this fuchsia sweatshirt that I don't like, so that could be what's making me not like it, is right in the center.
Yes, it is.
Which is like a rule in art that you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what's really upsetting me, because it's something I don't like and it's breaking a rule. If it was something I did like and it was in the center and breaking the rule, I might have let it slide. So I will say it could just be because I don't like it that I'm upset.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a very tiny picture of the
Oh my
rake.
gosh. Okay, so let me tell you about the rake.
Okay.
When I was a child, right, I was really interested in horror content, but I was very sheltered, right? The Rake was the first ever creepypasta I ever came across.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know what a creepypasta was. I didn't know it was like a made-up story. And I watched hours of like fake footage from the Rake, and I fully believed it.
Oh, damn.
I fully believed it, and I was scared of the Rake. And I'd be like reading about the Rake and trying to learn like, how can I make sure I'm safe from him? How can I make sure my dog's safe from him?
Oh my god.
Because, like, I think this one specifically, they were saying they got it from their camera that they used for deer or something.
Yeah, something like
like
that.
a hunting camera. So I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, there's deer in my yard sometimes. Does he like to follow deer
Did you
around?
think there was like multiples of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought like there was a race of...
A race of rakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was really worried that like one wouldn't come and hurt me or my dog.
Gotcha. No, that would be terrifying. Obviously, it's fake, but I definitely know, like, he has become so many different things throughout the years. In fact, he's still currently popular, not even for a rake. On TikTok, they're really obsessed with a thing called skinwalkers. And they've basically just decided everything is a fucking skinwalker. And so the rake footage has been popping back up. And they're like, he's a skinwalker.
I think skinwalker is something that comes from indigenous culture.
It is.
Okay, I know this one.
Oh, yeah?
So this is it was like said to be a picture from the Russian sleep experiment.
Yes.
But it's actually like a little, not a doll, but a decoration from like Spirit Halloween or something.
Oh, I didn't know it was from Spirit, but that's funny.
I could be wrong, but it's a Halloween decoration.
Yeah,
and it is incredibly creepy. The story that goes along with it about the Russian sleep experiment is a creepy story. It's a lot. And this is a very recognizable photo at this point. So I think it did a great job being what it was.
I agree. I definitely found this very creepy when I first heard of the Russian sleep experiment. And even though I'm not sure how this picture directly correlates with the story, which is about, like, them forcing people to not sleep.
Yeah, but I think after so many days they started to, like, go insane.
They did, but
in the story, they went insane and they started, like...
That wouldn't
I think one of them started...
Teeth,
that's true. I think they started, like, ripping out part of their flesh and, like, pooping and putting it all over themselves.
Okay.
And, like, just doing things that were horrible to their body. Like, I'm pretty sure one of them ripped open his body at some point. Mm-hmm. If any of that happened, like, for real, if you really, like, could not sleep for so many days and you were going insane, I don't think you would, like, look like this in any way.
Yeah.
I do think you would look very, very sick.
Oh, yeah.
from the things they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did stop eating and everything, so that makes sense why it's so thin.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so next up we got
Oh my god.
Siren Head, and he is currently one of my favorite ones.
He's a more recent one, is that right? Or did he just blow up recently?
He is a more recent one for sure.
He's not like super recent, but like more recent.
Oh, but for sure.
I don't know a lot about him. I know he has a siren head.
Yeah.
I know he's very long, very tall.
Uh-huh.
And I know that through his speakers he'll play like it. You know those speakers that will be like, we're testing the tornado siren or whatever.
Uh-huh.
That's what it sounds like coming through his speakers, and it's not him talking. It's normally like just a replay of what people say over their speakers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard him talk.
I don't think
it's
he
always
does talk.
Just like a replay of what people say through those speakers.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the original creator of Siren Head, but I think he's a really brilliant idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why he took off so much, because he's really cool and memorable.
He took a lot of things from Slender Man, like a lot
For
of
sure.
things. He's definitely like long and lanky.
Very.
And then even his games are very similar.
Very much so, yeah.
But I really having a siren go off while a giant monster chases you is just so scary to me.
Oh, for sure.
This is just another picture of him.
This is interesting. I don't think I've seen like skin texture before. He looks very skeletal. You can see full rib cage and everything.
Yeah. And he also has, you can't see it from here, but he also has teeth in his sirens.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's very cool.
And a tongue in there. So speaking of Slender Man, this is
I've definitely seen this image.
Yeah.
I think, was this the one that started him? I believe it was. If I remember right, there was some type of competition where you were to like very early internet, where you were supposed to Photoshop something and send it in.
Okay.
And so they Photoshopped Slender Man into this old camp picture.
Okay.
And that's how it originally blew up. So I think this is the original Slender Man photo.
I think one of the things that really makes it is just how the kids look. Like, this one looks, like, upset to be around here.
Yeah.
These ones look like maybe they're
almost,
afraid or talking about it.
It's so weird, because I don't get fear at all. Like, it's just giving, like, we had to bring him with us. He's like the weird uncle or whatever. They're like, can we leave him home for one day? I came to this camp to row a boat and to eat snacks, and you had to make me take your brother with you.
Take your Slender Man. Mom, he doesn't even talk. He just stands there and won't move unless you're not looking at him.
He's so awkward.
So this is another Slender Man picture of higher quality.
Mm-hmm.
And in college, there was a guy who dressed up as Slender Man, and he did a really good job. He wore, like, stilts, and he had, like, the long arms and everything.
That's so cool.
And it was really cool. But I think that's also what's here is stilts, and then obviously these hands are fake as fuck, so...
It was very well done, to be clear. The way you said that kind of made it sound like, oh, this is like a bad attempt. And I know that's not what you meant.
That's not what I was saying.
I know that's not what you meant at all.
Yeah.
But I did want to know, like, this is really good. Mm-hmm. This is really cool. Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting that his head's tilted down. Because it's not something we normally see from him, I don't think. Normally his head's looking straight up. So I'm wondering what it is he's looking at, or if he just didn't fit in the frame.
One thing I really appreciate about Slender Man is so often they just try too hard to be scary, you know? Mm-hmm. And with his, he just don't have one. And the minimalistness of him not having one can also be just as terrifying, you know?
I agree. I think this is so cool.
Okay.
Oh my god. What is this?
This is Smile Dog.
That's a dog.
That's a dog.
Barry, is that you? BB, is that you?
And so, kind of like the Momo thing, this is one that people would share around and be like, you have to share Smile Dog or else he'll do something.
Does he have hair?
I don't know.
Is that like a wig? Does he got a little bob going
I
on?
thought these were ears. But maybe. So the first thing I notice is these are not dog teeth.
They're not.
These are human teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two different sets. This is not with this. This is like, I feel like this is a picture of an actual human's mouth that was really bad, and they like slightly stretched and elongated it, slapped it on here, and then these are just different.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of editing happened to this photo.
Yes.
It is not particularly creepy to me.
Okay.
It's more just kind of like, for whatever reason, it kind of makes me irritated.
Okay.
And I don't know what exactly is that's doing that. That doesn't mean it's bad art or anything. But I don't care about it. Does that make sense? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. They didn't do a bad job. I'm not trying to trash the artist. I just, I
don't care.
Like, I don't
That's
care.
Fine. That's fine. I think that the redness around it gives it some sort of muscle structure, and then by throwing white, it gives it a skeletal vibe. So I think that's what they tried to do. So it's almost like a dog without a face, but with human teeth. And then this just gives, these curtains give, this was just taken in somebody's house, you know? So just, and this is the other one that people would share. And I think this one even dumber.
So this is definitely giving dog for sure. No Bob.
No Bob.
Not interested. So I'm noticing this hand off to the left side.
Yes. I'm guessing that's just a child's hand.
Oh, okay. It's very red.
Unless it's like a hand covered in blood or something.
Is that a word on the table, or are those...
It could be.
Because it looks like
it
the word
almost says pot.
fox.
Oh.
I can see that. I can see pot, too.
This looks like a T to me. O-P.
I can see that. I can see that as a T for sure. But yeah, it kind of looks like it's trying to spell something.
Or pat, actually, because I see this.
Oh,
right here.
and then the hand's there going to pat the dog.
Pat. Going to
That's
pat.
what we've decided.
Okay. Then we got
Okay.
Sonic.exe.
This is still a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic.exe has not died. Like, it's not... Most creepypastas are, like, popular for a while, and then they kind of die out.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one of them. Because I'm telling you, I could join Roblox today, and there'd still be a full group of people playing this Sonic.exe game.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many games of it. And
so many.
So many different, like, .exes.
Yeah.
Where it's, which is also weird that the thing that took off was the .exe, because that is literally just the application to run a program, you know?
I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Like, if you there's a lot of games where if you just download them, they're called .exe. That doesn't mean that they're scary. but the thing is, there's even more lore behind that recently because of all the things. Like, I think My Little Pony's another big one to be like this.
Yeah.
So there's, like, this godlike figure, or demon-like figure, whatever, a powerful figure whose name is Zalgo. And when Zalgo takes over, you have the black hair, the red eyes, and then the blood coming down and the sharp teeth. And
Okay.
every .exe thing that has this is related to the character Zalgo.
Oh, okay.
Who is also his own creepypasta, who he just takes over, like, media, I guess, and turns it evil.
I've never heard of that. I think Sonic.exe is cool. It reminds me of, like, fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important to support just people being creative, even if it's something, like, maybe a little bit silly, a little bit goofy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hurting anyone. And I think it's important to just be creative. So I'm down. Even if it's, like, evil My Little Pony or whatever. Like, go off. Just do whatever. I don't care. I think that's awesome that you're, like, combining two interests, horror and Sonic. I think that's awesome.
So this is also Sonic related. This is Tails Doll from Sonic R. And he has his own creepypasta. And I don't...
Does he have eyebrows?
No, I think that's his hair.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And I don't remember the creepypasta much. I remember it's about two kids playing a Sega Saturn, and Tails Doll shows up, and they're scared of him. And
they're scared of him?
Yeah, unlike in a lot of creepypastas where like there's so many not real factors. Tails Doll does exist. This one is a real character you can play as in Sonic R. Yeah.
That's awesome. What's the red thing on his head?
That is an antenna, and he is controlled that way, as well as...
By Tails?
Not by Tails.
Oh.
I think by Eggman.
Oh,
because, so then, you know how there was a Metal Sonic, right?
Yeah.
Well, then there was also a Tails Doll and a Metal Knuckles.
That's so fierce.
Let me look up Metal Knuckles from Sonic R. But yeah.
You know in Sonic Adventure, when you're E102Y/Gamma,
yeah.
There's this very first level where you're supposed to shoot dolls of...
Metal Knuckles.
He's so cool. I think that's really awesome. That's awesome. Anyway, you shoot dolls of Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah.
And Tails.
Mm-hmm.
And he just reminds me of that. I know that came out after.
I think I actually mentioned that in my Sonic video.
That's awesome. So I wonder if that was like a nod to this Tail Doll. I think that'd be really cool.
I didn't even think of it.
I honestly think this Tails Doll is cute.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. If I saw this in the store, I'd be like, "Oh, I should get this for Barry. Oh, too bad they don't have a Knuckles one."
That's funny. No, because Sonic Adventure was originally being created on the Saturn, and then they had to scrap it. I assumed that this Tails Doll was a piece of that Sega Saturn version.
Can we find a picture of the Tails Doll from Sonic? That might be a particular ask.
In my video, I already put the picture of the Tails Doll side by side with the one from Sonic Adventure.
Okay.
And they don't look that similar.
They don't? Okay.
No. So, I think I was wrong in that place. Plus, this one specifically has an antenna. But still, yeah, it could be what you said, a nod to that. Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. I think it's really cool sometimes. Not all the time. Sometimes it's just, like, kind of irritating.
Mm-hmm.
But when a series will acknowledge something that fans care so much about, you know?
Yeah. And I think this is... This is, have you seen this man?
Yes. It has to do with dreams. Is that right?
Yep.
I think, like, everyone has seen this guy in their dreams.
Or at least a large percentage has apparently seen him.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I'll be so real with you. I don't know that I've seen this guy in my dreams.
I haven't either.
However, I see this photo so much that I feel like at this point, if I did see him in my dreams, I would think it's because I saw this photo and not because he was there to begin with. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Like, people suggested he was there, so now he's there?
So many of his features could just be basically anybody. Really, what stands out the most is his big fucking thick eyebrows. But yeah, if you made that thin, like, there could be so many different people. But then the other thing is so many people can either misremember or have memories implanted through suggestion. So you saying, have you seen this man, could make people be like, I have, even if they haven't, you know? There was this one experiment where they, like, photoshopped a family into a hot air balloon, and they mixed it with a whole bunch of other family photos. And because it was mixed with those other family photos, even though this family had never been in a hot air balloon, they believed they had.
Wait, so the family was looking at their photos and they saw that and they believed they were in the hot air balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the family believed it, not just some random person.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then and then when they were questioned about it, they were adamant that they had been in the hot air balloon until it was proven to them that it was photoshopped. And then they were like, I swear we were in that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering where this image came from. I'm wondering if it's just like...
I think it's a police sketch.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, I guess I don't...
Do you think it's
know
made to resemble a police sketch since
yeah,
they're like, have you seen this man?
Yeah, it could not be a police
Are we
sketch,
recording?
Yeah.
Should you check?
Sure.
I feel like we haven't checked in a while.
Yeah, we're...
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, I think it's a police sketch.
No, I just suddenly, I'm like, we've been recording this whole time? No. Yeah. No, we're good.
I think this is our last one. And this is Zalgo, that guy I was telling you about who makes everybody with the black eyes and the red.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is him.
I think he looks great. Put him on a t-shirt.
No, I would wear a t-shirt.
Yeah. Like, he looks great.
This is a cool pattern.
No other thoughts. He's perfect.
Uh-huh.